And I want to welcome you and all those that watch the replay and those that are new to Tea Time with Dorarena, sponsored by Women of Wisdom. And we are here to empower teen girls and women with practical wisdom and confidence. We're here to bridge that generational gap between the young ladies and the older ladies, okay? And so I am doing a different tea today, okay? So I'm going to let you know that I'm trying to see if I can share this video. Okay, one moment. Okay. Well, okay. So I am drinking today a tea that my friend gave me called buttermint, and it's really good. And I didn't put any creamer in or anything, so all I have is honey in it. So tea time. So I have a guest coming on today, which is Janelle Jones, and let me tell you a little bit about her. Janelle Jones is a native of California, and by trade for over 20 years in the medical field as a pharmacist technician. She is a published co-author of Brutal Courage, Silent No More, and Unveiling Purpose. A serialpreneur, serial. A single mom of a son that has followed in the authorship as well, in addition to a homeschool advocate, wellness lover, and fashionable jewelry consultant. She is a prominent Christian self-love and abundance coach. And I'm going to let her share some other things as she join in with us, okay? So here we have Janelle Jones. All right, Janelle, look. We're
Finally made it.
Yeah, right.
We made it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Okay, so um, I'm going to let you introduce. Well, I did kind of tell them a little bit about you
Hmm.
and about the 3 books that's been published, but you can give them a more information about, you know, what you're doing, who you are, and all that kind of stuff.
Great. So, as you already know, I'm Janelle Jones, self love and abundance coach, a life coach, that is. And so, I basically started over a year ago, I say, in the whole entrepreneur world. And how I landed here was basically I had to homeschool my son. Upon homeschooling my son, I literally said, okay, God, this is a little different. And so what I did was I prayed to God. I let go and I let God, and I said, I need additional income because I left the corporate world. And when I did that and I allowed him to guide my footsteps, I ended up being an author. I've been um, in several speech engagements. I've created my own signature program for self love and abundance that comes compacted with so many other rich things that was mentioned earlier for the wellness side of things, business tools, finance. I actually have a finance workshop coming up that's absolutely free on this Saturday. That I just want to give back and be able to help others to get to the place where I am now, which is being a serialpreneur, actually tapping in and enjoying the things that you truly do. And I did not become an entrepreneur, a serialpreneur, without letting God dictate and guide my steps. I owe it all to the homeschool community of me having to homeschool my son.
Awesome. I've been
I
trying to
lost
work.
you.
Yeah, no, I've been trying to work this thing so I can um, have us posted on my Facebook
Yes,
page.
I need to
And
share
so
too. I need to share.
I
I need
had
to
to
share
go.
everywhere.
I had to go to YouTube
Oh, okay.
to share it from YouTube because it wouldn't appear on my Facebook page for some reason.
I'm checking mine
So
out now too. So is it on your Facebook?
no,
Hmm.
well it is now,
Oh, okay, okay.
but
I see it.
it
It's on.
yeah, see, it wouldn't let me.
Okay. We are good to go now.
Okay,
Well, we should be good to go. I'll wait.
right. I think that what happened, with this thing, it's on YouTube, but we have to do some other things to get it
Yeah.
show up on Facebook. Okay, so we are here and we're doing this thing finally. So, you know, we're good. Okay,
Mhm.
so if you uh, want to, if you're having trouble seeing us on Facebook, I copied it over there, but you can always go to Women of Wisdom Omaha
Mhm.
for our YouTube page, and we're live on YouTube. So you'll be able to connect with us on YouTube. All righty. Okay, so Janelle, I'm going to tell everybody, guess what? She's my cousin.
Don't you love it?
Yeah. So the secret is out.
I was wondering if you were gonna tell them that. I was like, I wonder if she's gonna tell them at the end or if she's gonna tell them now. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so funny because I actually just found out that we were cousins
Mhm.
um, just the end of the year. Was it the end of the
Yeah.
year?
I want to say it was about the end of the year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of awesome to get to know each other, and we're both, involved in the same type of thing, and we
Oh
love
yes.
helping women and all
Yes.
this kind of stuff. So yes, it's in the family.
Yes. And I'm looking like we kind of favor each other a little bit too. Look at the high skin
Look
tone.
at that. Okay, so let's dive in and let's share some wisdom with the ladies that are watching or those that may watch the replay. And so, my question for you is, what is you to start self love and abundance program?
Oh, I love that question. When I first did my very first interview, I was so nervous. I was shaking. I'm like, ah. But as I get that question now, it just comes so fluent, meaning how I got to this point is starting that very first book. I have three anthologies. The very first one, I was in such a place and desperation of healing to where I didn't realize how trapped and guarded I was, and I was suffering in silence. That's why I like the next books, Silent No
Mm,
More. But when I started Brutal Courage and I wrote out what took place, I was that was the beginning of my healing journey. And I said, "You know what? I'm not the only one here. I am not the
Right.
only one that is suffering. I'm not the only one with a story, with a traumatic story that needs some type of healing. So I want to say that first brought the closure, but what opened it is the situation that took place in Brutal Courage, and also a lot of I'll just say it, African American people are just now starting to seek help and counseling and guidance and life coaches and things like that. But I had to go ahead and own up and go to a therapist. And I went to a therapist for a little over a year. And then the next
Okay.
phase was writing that book. And that's what kind of opened up everything for me to start the journey of self love, that I knew I was not the only one.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, tell us how you came to realize you needed self love and how did it affect your confidence?
Oh, man. Once I shifted from that place of knowing that I was lacking the confidence on the other side, which is where I am now, I could see the difference and I would look back. I would kind of pull that curtain back and see that I was heartbroken, that I was ashamed,
Mm,
that I was
mm,
embarrassed, that I regretted so much, that I had
mm,
this heavy weight on me and I was living life as being robotic, so to say, just walking without any direction. Um I had left, I'll just be transparent, it's in my unveiling purpose book, but I kind of like said I was no longer with God. God is not with me. If he allowed these things to happen, this thing called life,
mm-hmm,
if he allowed
mm-hmm,
these things to kind of push me and knock me down, then I'm walking away. And that's what I did. Guess what? When you walk away, that just builds you that much stronger. It builds you that much greater to walk in your purpose, in your calling, so you can start being aware and notice the self love that you were neglecting, that you didn't have before. So
mm-hmm.
that's pretty much what took place. I just kind of walked away and I just said, you know what, forget it, God, I'm not. But everybody has a low point. Everybody has a breaking point.
That's
And when you
true.
get so low, you have no way but to call on him. You have to go back. And so that's pretty much what happened.
Okay. Well, I definitely can relate to that because I've been on that side
Hmm.
and, you know, went through some situations myself and it, um, just kind of left and, you know, had that lack of confidence and things like that. And so I do understand what you're saying about that. I got a visitor that unexpectedly showed up.
Bring them to the team. Bring them to the team. They family anyway. Look, they family. Bring them.
Okay, so what were some of the struggles that you had to face being a single mom and an entrepreneur?
I would say the main thing was balance. How to balance it all. How do I do it all? I even had a
Mm-hmm.
conference with that before with the homeschool, because I'm a homeschool advocate now. If you ask questions, I'll answer them. I don't mind at all because I knew what it took to get to, understanding the rhythm and the flow. But the balance piece is so
Mm-hmm.
detrimental of how to do it all. And the secret is, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Don't try and do it all. Do what you can. And you also want to make sure that you incorporate them no matter what level the child is on.
That's
Meaning,
good.
even if they're a newborn, when they're asleep, that's when you, of course, most moms know to do your more important things then. Don't
Mm-hmm.
always coddle them. Put them in that rocking, the swing, or put them in that bassinet. Let them learn to be independent. You can still be close, but you're able to do what you need to do. When they're
Right.
older, you just incorporate them in that. So it took me a while to kind of balance it. And it also took me some time to balance the homeschool piece of it all as well, meaning a child learns all the time. you know,
Mm-hmm.
versus
Right.
sitting there doing pen and paper. They learn all the time. They're sponges. Life itself is a learning tool, you know. I would say
Right.
that was one of the main things was just balance. Like even right now, he's watching a movie. He knows. And sometimes us moms feel guilty when we are pulled and we're doing things that we're passionate about. It's like, hey, wait a minute. We are individuals too. We need to love ourselves and do what we like to do just as well as caring for that child.
That's true. So your son is following in your footsteps
Yes.
and has authored. Um, Tell us a little bit about that.
He is an author of Brutal Courage. So they have the women's edition, then they have the men's edition. So he's actually the youngest author in that anthology. And he just one day said, "Mom, I think I want to write too." Because I told him, I said, they're having a Brutal Courage for men. That's cool. And he was like, "I want to write." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Are you sure you want to write this story?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Why? Tell me why." And he said, "Because my mom is an author." And I just said, "Oh, I don't even
Mm-hmm.
really think of myself as an author still to this day. I just
Right.
like, it was part of the process, seriously. It was truly part of the process, but just to hear him say that he wanted to share his story and follow in my footsteps, I was just like, "Wow, okay, let's do it." So I helped him
Mm-hmm.
every step of the way, you know. We got it all together and he's an author now and he's 14. He wrote it at 13. And he says, "Well, I'm not gonna write another one until 16." I said, "Okay, you're gonna keep them on their toes, huh?" So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he has his own book too.
Okay. So I want to ask you, out of the three books, which one would you say
I
is your favorite?
I had one person ask me that. It was a family member. And I said, "Which one?" I said, "I cannot pick." But I've learned that that's going to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm going to say is going to be, unfortunately, Miss Dorina. Unfortunately, okay, it's going to be the very last one. And I say the first two were kind of, you could tell I was in the healing space.
Okay.
The last one, Unveiling Purpose, it shares just a smidget bit of the healing, but it shows the transformation. And it's also
Mm,
a tool for everyone to see like different strategies and things to apply. For example, I have it here in front of me. One tip I give is begin to rewrite your own story today. Don't let anybody else write your story. You hold the pen to that story.
right.
I don't care what life threw at you, what tossed you
Right.
away. You are in control to make these decisions to heal, which requires forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
ownership of your part,
That's right.
you know. So I will say this one because it does show tools and strategies of how to overcome what you have faced
Mm,
in life, the hardships, you know. The first two are the hardships. You're going to get the gory stories, and that's just it.
mm, mm. Yeah, well, that's true. Where can we find your books?
Oh, you can find them on Amazon. I will definitely put them in the chat on Facebook and
Okay.
or in a thread, but all of them are on Amazon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So, okay, what would you say? Uh, some characteristics are of a person that lacks self love.
I laugh because um by me being the self-love and abundance coach and everybody's like, "Oh wow, you seem like you have it all together," but not all of us do.
Right.
Some people have a mask, and there is still areas that I need to work on. Okay, I'm not perfect,
Right.
but first of all, like I said earlier, to acknowledge acknowledge the fact that you have issues. Some
Oh, that's
people aren't
good.
willing to do that.
That's
If
good.
you're not willing to identify and acknowledge, you're not going to be able to move forward and progress and recover, certain things, certain relationships. Say, for instance, my other book, one is about my dad, so if you're holding on to stuff for so long and so tightly, it becomes a norm to you.
That's true.
So you have to unpack a lot of those things.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Say, for example, prime example, you'll walk down the street and you say, "Good morning," and somebody says, "How are you today?" And you say, "Fine," and really you're having a bad day. That's adding a layer to you not being okay. You're lying to yourself, You're not
Mm,
being truthful and honest. You need to acknowledge every single feeling that you have because all of them, they're there for a reason. That's why we're
mm-hmm.
wired to have these feelings. Go ahead and cry if you have to. Crying is
Right.
a window to healing,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Go ahead and be angry, but just don't
Mm-hmm.
act on it right outrageously.
That's
But
right.
all these feelings, you have to acknowledge them and respect them, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
some of those characteristics may look like I said earlier, embarrassment,
Mm-hmm.
hatred, guilt
Mm-hmm.
will eat you up, you know.
That's
Feeling
true.
so- feeling sorry for yourself,
Right.
giving
Right.
up, giving up. There's
Mm-hmm.
several. There's several out there. Several
Yeah.
characteristics of lacking for self-love.
Well, it's good for us to identify some of those characteristics so that, we can start working on those
Hmm.
areas, because really, unless we are truthful with ourselves,
Right.
because really, like you said, healing begins with truth, accepting
Accepting yourself.
responsibility for whatever your part is, and, you know, yeah, taking responsibility for that. Because,
And let me interject. Sometimes you may not even have a part, meaning you may not have caused a certain thing to take place or a situation. You were just dumped there, right?
yeah, right, right.
Sometimes, and you're affected by that.
That's
But it's
true.
up to you to take ownership for what you can do now,
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
especially after you reach a certain age. Once you reach a
Mm-hmm.
certain age, you
Mm-hmm.
make a conscious decision. It doesn't come
Right.
easy for anybody. There's
That's true.
nobody. All of us fail.
Mm-hmm.
Even the rich and famous, the ones that are well known, you have to start somewhere. And
That's
everybody
true.
has made a choice.
That's right.
We all
Yeah.
have started somewhere, we've all made a choice, and we all have things that we dealt with throughout this life. It's just up to you how you're going to orchestrate it, how you're going to write it out. Like I said, take the pen and write it. When you write it out, write the vision and make it plain. I say that on a
Mm-hmm.
regular basis. Write the vision and make it plain. If you write it into existence, you're speaking life into yourself.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I was thinking about something that you said um, about us, things happen to us, and, it's not because we really did anything. We were a victim of the circumstances,
Right.
but we still have to take responsibility for our future.
Exactly.
Our future is not based off of our uh, past situation. It doesn't have to be,
Definitely.
so we can choose to, overcome, the bad things that have happened to us. And we know that some of those things are really traumatic
Hmm.
and things like that. I mean, I've had some traumatic things have happened to me, but I just chose not to live that life,
Exactly.
you know. And the other thing that came to me was that you have to learn how to not be offended.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I've been told now that I'm too nice. I said, wait a minute, I'm too nice now. But I allow things to roll off my shoulder. I'm so optimistic. It's crazy to where people just say, you've changed. And I'm like, really?
Hmm.
I just
Hmm.
I just live life right now and how you can start um getting some of that self-love back. Right now, people are dying of COVID.
Hmm.
You can die getting hit by a bus. You don't know how you're going to go. You don't know when you're going to
Hmm.
go.
Hmm.
So you literally have to walk each day like it's your true last.
That's good.
So you want to say, did I do everything that I really wanted to do? Did I
Hmm. Right.
forgive myself? You have to forgive yourself.
That's true. Yep.
Did I forgive myself for everything that I
Hmm.
put myself through, that I allowed myself to go through, that I allowed someone else to do?
Hmm. Right.
I didn't stand up for myself. I dated
Hmm.
that wrong person. I allowed
Hmm.
somebody to do this to my child. I allowed somebody to do this to
Hmm.
me. I was raped. You know, I was raped.
Hmm.
I didn't ask for it, but a lot of women internalize that.
Yeah, that's true. That's
But it
true.
was not them, but you have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the person. The key ingredients to the whole self-love thing is forgiveness. Once you can
Hmm.
forgive and truly forgive,
Hmm.
then and only then will you experience the true sense of self-love and freedom and to be able to walk around and just let anything roll off. Not saying that you won't get mad, but when you get mad or
Right.
upset, it's just for a portion. It's just for a short period of time. You know,
Hmm.
like I
Hmm.
said, own those feelings and capture that. You're there for a minute and you say, you know what? Life goes on.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
right.
something that it gives too much energy. Why would you give that much energy?
Right.
You have
Right.
a whole day ahead of you. Someone makes you mad at, let's say, 8 o'clock in the morning. You're going to carry that till 8 o'clock tonight. You already are going to have a bad day. But if you claim it, speak it, and say, you know what? I'm leaving that right there at 8:10.
Hmm.
From
Hmm.
8 o'clock, I'm upset till 8:10. I'm just gonna let it marinate, and I'm walking away from it.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
making a choice. That's the
Right.
beginning of self love to start
Hmm.
to take those baby steps.
Yeah, and I want to encourage those that are listening to make those baby steps because it's so important that you start doing something. Because when you start doing something, that would help you to start having confidence in yourself. You can't have confidence if you don't do anything.
Right.
So you have to have action has to be a part of moving forward. You can't, you know, if you're in a car and you just sitting there and you don't turn that car on, and you don't push, the acceleration pedal, you're not going to go anywhere. And so it takes action on our part. And sometimes, ladies, let me tell you, if you have to do it crying, do it because it's more important that you step out and that you get out of that. Sometimes we can fall into like a comfort zone of
Hmm.
of tragic happenings or whatever has happened or the past, and you just don't want to live there. You just really don't. Life is too short, like she was saying, and there's too much for you to experience. There's a lot of joy out there that's waiting that has your name on it.
Absolutely. And I
So
like that part where you said a lot of times people are comfortable where they are, and that comes from and it stems from fear.
that's true.
When you are comfortable and complacent where you are and you know you want so badly deep inside to change and shift and do something differently,
Mhm.
say, you
Mhm.
know what? I'm going to do it anyway because I'm afraid, I'm quiet, I'm shy. That was my story, still is, but we'll talk about that another day. Um, but in order to move forward, success requires you
That's
to
true.
be uncomfortable.
That's true.
Once you start to embrace and embody the uncomfort part, then and only then is when you're going to be able to experience another level.
Right. Right. And it
So
will break that fear. Yeah,
it
you have to break that fear, and um, you're gonna always experience some hesitation or apprehension is the word I'm looking for. You know, to whatever is new that you get involved in. That's normal. You know, but it's not normal to stay in fear. That's not normal. So,
it
so
robs you of life.
I'm sorry, what?
It robs you of life.
Oh
It will
yes,
rob you
oh
of
yes. Okay, so is there something on your heart that you can share with us that will inspire us to be better young ladies and women?
I always close out anything when I do any show and I say, stay true to yourself. As simple as
Hmm.
it may seem, stay true to yourself.
Hmm.
You have to live with you.
Right.
Nobody else does. If you have children, they're going to grow up and be gone.
Hmm. That's right.
If
That's
you're
right.
married, they may leave.
Hmm.
If you're married, they may leave, meaning, till death do you part, or you may get a divorce. But at the
Hmm.
end of the
Hmm.
day, when nobody's there, only you understand you. Nobody else will get the whole thing. You get somebody that's really close, really, really close, right? But stay true
Hmm.
to yourself and always understand and know that there is no perfect person. All these distractions on social media is just that, distractions.
Yeah.
We get to
Yeah.
see what's posted, but
Hmm.
what's not posted is what you don't get to see, especially for the young ladies. That
Hmm.
affects a lot of young ladies' self esteem and their self love to be able to accept who they are. So stay true to yourself and realize each and every time that there is no perfect person. There's only the imagery of perfection. So, what I tell my son on a regular basis, and I'm telling you my secret, create your own imagery of perfection because there's no perfect person. As soon as you idolize that one person, they may fall.
Hmm.
So what you
Hmm.
need to do is grab whatever it is that you like from that person. You grab it. I like this from Janelle. I like this from Dorarena. I like this from my mom. And you
Hmm.
shape and
Hmm.
mold your own imagery of perfection.
Yes, yes. Every once in a while I mention this, but one of my favorite doctors is Dr. Caroline Leaf. I don't know if you ever heard of her, but she has a book called The Perfect You. And
Ah, I love that
yeah,
title.
yeah, and it's all about, you know,
Mm.
you can't be compared
Yes,
to
no.
anyone else because you broke the mold. And so whoever you are, that is the perfect you,
Yeah, absolutely.
and just discovering those positive qualities that you possess and walking in the confidence, of knowing who you are, and you do not have to compare yourself to anyone else because you understand that there's nobody like you anyway.
But if you think about it, if we all were the same, and if we're all trying to mimic that person, what's going to make you unique? What's going to make you special?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
What's going to make you special? Then you're
Yeah.
really going to lack the self love, right?
Right, right, right.
There are many things. That reminds me of you know how they have some of those shows? I want to say where they kind of like what do they call it? Clone? And
Mm,
everybody's the same. It's like seriously,
wow.
what if we were all the same, it would be kind of boring, don't you think?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Janelle, I want to thank you for being my guest today or tonight, and I'm very honored to have you, and especially, being my cousin. I really like that, and just I want to say, that make sure that you check out her books on Amazon, and just she also does a podcast called Pink Out, and so you can check her out on that. And I think you have some kind of event coming up. Can you quickly share that real quick?
Yes, I can. I actually have two events. I snuck one in there. I have a Facebook group, and I was just helping my ladies, like, what are we struggling with right now? What's going on? And we did a poll, and some people said business tools, and who won right now is the finance piece. So we're doing a workshop this Saturday on finances, just giving you how to budget, different investments beyond the brick and mortar banks, and we're doing the mindset of it around it of why we can't budget and how we are lacking education on how to invest. And then the last
Mm,
piece of that is going to be creating wealth, how we're able to create wealth. There's some little
wow.
tips and tricks that some people just don't know. The last event, well, the next event, because I always have something going on. That's just who I am. Whatever I know, I'm trying to pour back and give it because I'm one person. I can't hold it all. I'm excited and I'm ready to give it. The other one is a book challenge. We go through the series of all three of my books. We talk about it, and I help those ladies that have dealt with traumatic experiences, and I work them through my program, and we talk and discuss that and what that looks like to get to that to your unveiling purpose. And that's
Okay.
in March.
That's in March.
Yes.
Okay. And so, how would they find out about that?
I have that on. You can follow me on Facebook, and I can also put that in the chat as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have
Sounds
some
great.
links that I can put in there.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. Okay. Well, thank you, Janelle. And you and I definitely will be talking. And,
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed. I enjoyed.
well, you're welcome. All right. Bye bye.
See you later.
Okay. So, I hope that the ladies, I hope that you received the knowledge that was given. Oh my goodness, we just really did not have enough time to really just pour out the wisdom that we would really desire to give tonight. So, we're going to have to do this again. But I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, ladies, walk in wisdom, okay? Love you. Good night.